the missing keys. Maybe you could even say intentionally, you know, hidden keys of manifestation that we can take from magical places like ancient Egypt. So the first rule about these hidden keys is that the map is in your body. So if you're looking at the law of attraction at the moment, and you know it's taking you into your mind, you're doing affirmations, you're whatever it is that is sort of up here, out there, the map is in your body. We want to get into your body, because if we go back to ancient Egypt, the traditions of ancient Egypt require renewal and revitalization, right? So every single sacred rite of ancient Egypt was all focused on that renewal, revitalization, you know, almost in the essence of the shamanic rebirth from death. So that is how they created that renewal and revitalization. It was through the magic in their body. So the first hidden key from ancient Egypt of manifestation was that there was actually 13 chakras instead of the 7 that we use now. So looking at this map in the body, looking at the chakras as part of the map, there were 13 chakras, oh, hello mosquito, that the ancient Egyptians used for alchemy, for magnetism. And they also used a calendar of 13 months as well. And they would use the movement of their energy through these chakras, and in each chakra is wisdom, right? They would move through another chakra each month from these lower energies, which are your primal energies, your survival energies, up into higher spiritual illumination. And at the Godhead, at the peak of this 13th chakra, they would move into a new octave of life, revitalization, renewal, basically recreating themselves on an annual basis and evolving, right? Evolution. So whether you look at 13 chakras or 7 chakras, most people are not moving their energy. Most people are not moving their energy out of their primal survival center, out of these lower 3 chakras, because they're not doing the inner work to shift the beliefs, right? To shift the fear, to shift the attachment to outcomes, to shift everything that gets you focusing on surviving, procreating, right? And being more powerful than others, and also needing to control. Because those are the things that keep us safe as human beings. We ultimately cannot escape our humanness. We are humans. We do have an instinct. We do have a nervous system. So we have to be very conscious about how we're moving our energy, and we have to use our body and our body's innate wisdom to help us to move this energy. And, you know, the second hidden key to manifestation is that, you know, the movement, the shift is in the unconscious body. So somebody asked me the other day, like, what's the difference between your subconscious mind and your unconscious body? And, you know, your unconscious body is almost like the operating system, the script, whereas the subconscious mind is just all the stories that come from it. So when you're moving through your daily life, again, coming back to the body being the key piece here, your body, your unconscious body, your nervous system, your programming that goes back lifetimes is being triggered by whatever it is seeing and feeling. Remember, the reptilian brain is just picking up colors, shapes, sounds, and remembering, right? Remembering the things that have happened in your life and in past lives that have led you to danger, and is deciding in every moment, is this safe? So your unconscious body is what's being triggered, and it's very hard to become aware of your unconscious body. So basically you are a robot moving through life most days if you're not consciously moving your energy out of these unconscious lower energy centers of the body. So I'm talking to my clients about this all the time, because I know that it is what is keeping them stuck. I know it is what kept me stuck for such a long time. You know, if you've read my book, Awaken Your Miracle Frequency, it is easier than you think to have it all. I tell you my story, and I teach you about the power of turning this reptilian brain from an enemy into an ally in terms of shifting out of your programming, moving yourself forward, and becoming magnetic to what you want. So ultimately, no amount of affirmations. And it's funny because I was on a coaching session with my coach yesterday, and he was talking about something, and maybe I should go back to basics and getting some affirmations. And I almost said yes, and I was like, no. No amount of affirmations are going to get me over something that I'm carrying inside that is still fearful, right? I have to go into my unconscious body because it's the operating system, right? I can keep trying to change the script, and there are ways that we can, slowly change our scripts. But if I want to do it fast, I really need to use the unconscious body as it has been created to be manipulated, right? Energetically, using these chakras, using less of a conscious process and more of an energetic process. Because ultimately we don't know what's written on our scripts most of the time, right? So if we want to really, again, going back to your content, like if you want your content to be powerful, embodied, inspired, different, right? Stop the scroll, not just exciting for the people who are looking at it, but exciting for you to share it. We have to create an embodied, passionate way of being that actually matches who we truly are, and this creates this beautiful harmonic resonance, which is effectively when you're coming into this beautiful coherence with the universe as well. And this is where the alignment happens, right? It's like if there is resonance in you, if there's harmony in you, then your environment is going to be harmonic. You're going to attract the abundance that matches the quality of your energy, because we're manifesting all the time, right? It's just whether you are manifesting the good shit and an abundance of it, or whether you are manifesting the bad shit and an abundance of that, right? So if you create this beautiful harmonic resonance within, which is what we're doing when we're using the body as a map, when we're starting to work with the body's innate wisdom, and especially when we use these hidden keys of manifestation from ancient Egypt, which is working with your 13 chakras, we're actually joining these lower energies, the unconscious energies, with the higher energies, right? And we become a current. We become a current of truth, a current for manifestation. And it's super powerful from root to tip, right? From energy in through to energy out, spiritual illumination and divinity, effectively accessing these spirit worlds. And I found this beautiful groundedness, so connection to earth. And I would suddenly find, as I moved my energy, as I used these ancient practices, these ancient rituals to move my energy, circulate my energy, I would receive creative inspiration. My business was starting to grow. My brand was starting to create itself without any of the force and manipulation, and without any attachment to the outcome. It wasn't that I'm going to consciously focus on my branding, consciously focus on my content. Everything was just evolving from me and this connection, right? So something that is really interesting to me is that the word in ancient Egyptian or Egyptian for spiritual illumination is Shen, and actually it's the same in Chinese. And when I experienced, so a month ago, if you've been following my content, you'll know that I actually went through a bit of a hard time personally about a month ago, reached quite a rock bottom place, and have been on this beautiful pilgrimage for the last 36 days, which I restarted on Sunday, so we're now at day 3 again for whatever reason. But somebody I know recommended this Chinese herbal concoction called Jing. And Jing actually means our creative life force, right? So when you're connecting to the earth's energy, you're connecting to the life force energy that is running through the whole universe. And the Chinese call this Jing. and it is your sexual essence as well. So these ancient practices that were used from ancient Egypt is actually stirring this sexual energy within, right? Moving it up through each chakra into these higher energy centers of the body, which creates this spiritual illumination, which is called Shen. And what was really interesting was that I was recommended this concoction of Jing because of the situation that I was in personally had sort of slipped me back into that unconscious mode, specifically like a really physical, unconscious survival mode. And the thing is that when we are in our survival circuits, our energy, our life force will go away from our major organs into our survival circuit. So basically just the cortisol, the adrenaline that we need to survive the stress that is being created by whatever is triggering us into survival mode from our environment. So this beautiful concoction, Jing, is meant to replenish this energy force within. And I used it for a little while and I actually felt quite a big difference. And I noticed on their website that there was this other powder called Shen. And this powder Shen was more about, developing your joy and higher virtues. And so I began to use the Shen with the Jing. And not to get too far off track, like basically, again, Jing and Shen are about moving energy. So replenishing your Jing so that you have basically an excess of this essence, this life, this sexual essence, this life force, but focusing on moving it. So the Shen actually creates the circulation of the energy, higher virtues up from these survival centers into your heart space, right? What happens when you move your energy from your survival center into your heart space? You're focusing on what you love. You're focusing on what brings you joy. You're focusing on creating a higher frequency that then ascends these energies into the highest centers of your body, where you're having this beautiful spiritual illumination and actually creating alchemy. So you're actually shifting your energetic body without doing anything conscious at all. You're not having to work on the scripts. You're not having to work on the subconscious reprogramming. You're not having to repeat constant affirmations and watch mind movies and do all of that stuff. It's basically transformation on the inside that leads to transformation on the outside without the conscious mind being so heavily involved in the process. And ultimately, your conscious mind just needs to become the container for this alchemy to happen, right? So you need to commit to creating the awareness of this beautiful body that you have, this beautiful temple for alchemy, this beautiful place where these hidden keys of manifestation are. And Egyptians were the innovators of this alchemy. They traveled with their knowledge. We know that they traveled to Asia, and that actually this is where we began to see these hidden keys being lost. We began to see the 13 chakras turn to the 7 chakras, or I think originally it was just 5 chakras. We saw the 13 months of the year turn to 12 months of the year. We see the meridians that the Egyptians used to work with. They had multiple, I think it's 19 in total, different meridian pathways around the body. And again, we saw as the knowledge was taken away from Egypt into Asia that they've reduced right down and there are less pathways. So we're not unlocking the full power of the energetic body. So coming back to that, the same word, Shen in Chinese, Shen in Egyptian, both mean the same thing, and yet by the time this alchemy, this Egyptian alchemy had reached Asia, so much of it had been lost or purposefully hidden. And you can have your theories about why we might purposefully hide this information, because it is so powerful, because it is so simple. One of my mentors, who has been supporting me to learn more about Egyptian alchemy, he talks about a piano and how this information is like the black keys. And if we want this beautiful harmony, you take the black keys off a piano and what have you got? Like a really funny sound. It's not harmonic anymore. And we don't have a harmonic resonance on the planet right now. We have a lot of people existing in their survival circuits. We have a lot of low frequency. We have a lot of things coming in, like these viruses and fear and control. Yeah, it's like if you want to step into another octave of harmony in your life, you have got to take this process within of stepping through these powerful pathways in your body to a completely different resonance within. So if you're chasing for money right now, you know, if you are doing things for security instead of love, if you are essentially being something that you aren't because it makes you feel safe. And look, you know, I'm talking from experience of when I was stuck last year, when I was plateaued in my content, my money, it was because I was not living into my truth or not allowing my truth, right? And it's funny because you can look happy on the surface. You can smile in your reels. They can look, you know, your videos can look shiny, but you don't have inner peace. You don't have creative authenticity. You don't have deep soul happiness. And you can tell yourself a bunch of things. You can focus on stuff in your business, get yourself busy, stay busy, and put up with all the discomfort that you feel, that you numb potentially in the ways that you numb it, either by getting busier or having unhealthy coping strategies. But ultimately you have a disharmonic resonance and your soul desperately wants to love. The highest frequency is love. And that's what we're here for, you know. The more I've connected with the ancient Egyptian wisdom living within me, the more I've understood that this true concept of magic uses the energy of the heart center principally. So to love being a compass, it's about being a compass and embracing the wisdom of just being, you know, that centeredness, that groundedness that I began with. So the Egyptian word for heart is Ab, and that's also the word for conscience and desire, and Abba is the word for heart soul. So that's the seat of your consciousness. It is the relationship between spiritual will and the power of love. And that's been huge for me in the last 6 months. So, what time is it? I probably need to wind this up because I'm delivering a masterclass in another place in 15 minutes. So, to wrap this up, the transformation that was lacking to bring me into alignment with my truth has happened. And it is all about identity, right? It is about who you are and your truth. When you can allow yourself to connect with your deepest heart's desires without all the stories that you tell yourself that they're not okay or it's not safe. And the more you can learn to trust in the universe, to listen to the guidance of spirit, the more you're going to consciously align with the desire of a higher will, and life will start happening for you. So I'm going to be talking about all of this in my next masterclass, which is called Divine Flow for Creators. We're going to be going into disruptive content, magnetism, and alchemy. And I'm going to be sharing how I create that how do I create that disruptive content every single day. And by that, I mean content that stops the scroll, that leads to clients, and leads to clients fast in under 5 days, right? From cold potential soulmate clients to signed up soulmate clients, working with those that you love to work with, and how I'm using magnetism and alchemy as part of my business strategy to supercharge my results. So again, you've seen that. If you've seen my focus in the last 36 days, it has not been on business strategy. It's been on my frequency. It's been on my own self-love. It has been on shifting my own harmonic resonance. And my new sales are up over 100%. My engagement is up nearly 100%. Everything's up. I shared a post on it, which I can tag you in if you don't believe me. And none of that has come from strategy, right? As a bonus, I'm going to take you through my morning ritual that I use to charge up this sexual essence, this creative power, and take you into altered states of consciousness where you can receive this creative inspiration. So if you're ready to make more sales more easily, If you want to have recurring income on automation, if you want to have that creative authenticity, and you want time freedom as well, this masterclass is for you. So all you have to do is comment priest or priestess, and I will connect you. And it's going to be wild. It's next week, probably about this time next week. So wherever you are in the world, you can look at your clock and note down. But, you know, if you comment, I will send you the actual, I'm getting eaten alive by mosquitoes here behind me. I'll send you the actual details, and I would love to see you there, because we're going to go deep. It's going to be powerful. Yeah, and I will look forward to it. Bye-bye.